Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos. No, that one with the magnolia tree pictures was the first listing that I ever lost. Like, we terminated the listing for several reasons, but one of them was that I wasn't marketing enough of the bushes in the front yard, but that's fine. Moving on.
I hit the wrong button. I was trying to flip between the show notes and the video.
When I said moving on, I didn't mean goodbye.
So this one I do think is worth it. Is targeted online advertising. Like, we all know when you put your listing in MLS, the IDX feeds it to, like, I'm not even going to say their companies because I don't even want to give them the recognition, but to those other websites that people tour and to different things. It's like thousands of them. But if you're not also doing like a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, Google ads, I really think you're doing a disservice. And I do think if you know how to do them properly, with that being the key word, they are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be to sell that house. They may just end up giving you a pipeline of people to then nurture in your CRM.
Yeah.
But I do think I would spend money on that before I would spend money on paying for leads.
Well, because I mean, essentially, it can be paying for leads, but in this instance, you're also like, for me, I boost the posts from my personal Facebook page. So
don't do that. We need to have an episode about that.
Oh,
not worth your money. Every social media person I've talked to says don't do it that way. It doesn't get you as much as you think. So we'll talk about that another day.
But. Oh, well, that's what I do. So apparently we'll be flip-flopping that. But that is what I do, and that's something else that I can include in my weekly emails to my sellers, right? Here's what I did. This is the ad that I ran. This is the link clicks. This is the leads that I got. Like, this is what I did this week in this aspect of marketing.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. You have to know how to use the tool correctly so that the money you're spending is effective. And I've watched a couple classes that say don't use the boost button, do it through your professional page. Which I know we all try to grow an audience on our personal, but we'll talk about that in another episode. So I think, yes, spending money on targeted online advertising is worth it if you're doing it the way that specific platform wants you to do it. They will reward you for doing it the correct way. We all know they will also hurt you for not doing it the correct way.
Gosh darn algorithms.
Yes. Now here's one we're probably going to disagree on.
Probably. It's fine. We're allowed to disagree. That's the whole point of this. We're very similar, and in the ways that we're different, we're wildly different. So,
yes. And I think we're wildly different, but in ways that are still effective. Like, we both still run successful businesses. CRMs, customer relationship management. Brenna, you use one. You just don't use like a traditional real estate one.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Like, I don't pay for one, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, Flowdesk is one, theoretically.
No.
Yes. Absolutely, because it stores all of their contact information, right? So that you are then building that relationship with all of the different emails and things you send to them.
But it's a lot. I guess you could look at it that way. It's a lot different from something like a Follow-Up Boss or a Lofty, where you're like taking notes and tagging, and it's set up to be like, oh, you haven't contacted this person in a while, like those kinds of things. Where it's a house for information and like names and emails. Yes.
Right. Agreed. But you also what's the other one the one that sends them their property information that the lender pays for? HomeBot. Does that give you reminders and stuff? I don't think it does.
No.
It just kind of flies and it does its thing.
That's right.
I think it's worth. Now, do I think depending on the size of your business, the amount you want to utilize it, your skill at utilizing it, I do think a lot of CRMs are very overpriced, especially for beginner agents.
Well, and I was just
Um,
gonna say too, I think that the biggest thing, and you just said it, is your skill in using it. Because I know a lot of agents that their business runs on their CRM, right?
right.
Whether that be because they are buying leads and that's how they are able to cycle through and follow up and really churn those into active business, or staying in touch with their sphere and all of those things. Um, for me, that's not how I'm wired.
Right.
It's much like looking at a spreadsheet. I get a rash and like hives. So that's just me. I do believe, and I mean, I pay for Lofty, right? But my Lofty is more so landing pages and website than it is client management for me personally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mine's both. Mine is client management and my website and my landing
Mhm.
pages and things like that.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
So the
mine's
jury's out
definitely
on that one. If it works for you,
both.
great.
But I
If
think, and
not,
we've said it before, and I've heard other like real estate people say it. The best one is the one you use.
yes.
And Stacy Saul's birthday was this week, and I think I've brought this up on here before. When she started, she had 3 jars that had popsicle sticks in them. One for clients who were looking or who had listed, one for clients who were under contract. I don't remember what the third one was.
Hmm.
And they were all on popsicle sticks, and she would move them along as they moved through the
It's
process.
a great way to do it. Here's okay. So
Right?
as we're talking about like things, is it worth it? Like, should you work it? If this is something like you don't have, because some of these CRMs are like hundreds of dollars a month.
Yeah. KV Core, I looked at it when I left my last firm because I thought I had put a lot of time into learning how to use
Mm,
it. Was over $500 a month for a
yeah.
single agent, and that wasn't even the full KV Core.
That's how Lofty was when I looked into it, wanting to come from KW Command because I didn't really like that platform. It was like 580 a month as a solo agent.
Yeah.
And there was a team that I knew that used it, and as a team, she was paying like 1250 a month for her team. And I was like, oh my god. Okay,
Right.
so in that aspect, invest in what works for you. Invest in what's going to help you build your business. If you're just starting out and you're like, oh, bells and whistles and the fancy shiny thing, the CRM is not it. That's my opinion. We're allowed to have different opinions. Just say it.
My different opinion is if you are a new agent, the CRM is where it's at, but use the one if your firm provides one, use it.
Hmm.
Make sure you're saving your information like in Google Contacts for if you leave, if they won't let you take it with you if you leave. But if you're someone who needs that reminder to call those people, the CRM might be the tool you need. Or maybe you need to put it in your calendar, but you need something. And if the CRM is free and you like it,
Use it.
then I would totally test it out. I wouldn't say, would as a brand new agent, no, don't go spend hundreds or thousands of dollars a month on one unless you have like previous sales experience and you know that's what you need to keep you going. Then fine, whatever. That's a whole different story. But I do think there is a lot that a CRM can do to help a new agent move forward and like keeping their touches and things like that.
Okay. We're split
Okay,
on
the
that one.
next one I think we totally agree on.
Yes.
Yes.
Branding, marketing,
Yeah.
personal branding. Like this is something that I mean, and we're both solo agents, so here's the differentiating piece on that. If you're part of a team and you're I was on a team and you're supposed to like use the team branding, right?
Right.
As a solo agent, that's different. We're talking business cards, branded swag, your website, um, lifestyle photo shoot like that for your social media and things like that. These are things that you're trying to make a connection with the outside world. So you have to be out in the outside world with your logo, with your face, with your information. And that is 100% something that should be invested in.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is able to be out there long term is even better. Things that'll
Yes.
kick around. Like, I swear right now I think that the best things are the chapsticks that I got because they just kick around.
Right? Right? I this is the first thing I would spend money on as a new agent. Absolutely put money into a professional branding photo shoot.
Mhm.
Because if you're handing out business cards or trying to do marketing with a blurry cell phone photo, it's just like a house. It is just like trying to market a house. People are going to look at you and be like, she couldn't even get a good photo.
Listen, my first business cards had a, I shit you not, Snapchat selfie on them. I had to listen. This is confessional, okay? That was my first business card.
My first ones didn't have my photo. So there's that. Because I was like, I shouldn't have to put my face on things. But and then I realized I was like, oh, my face needs to yeah, okay. But I mean I there's an agent in our area. I somewhere I have a picture of her business card because she left it at a showing and she's literally like and it's from this angle and I'm like,
It's
this is
terrible.
not Facebook dating. Get and like but she's a friend on Facebook now and every photo.
Here's another thing
Girl,
about that. Like
let me
there's
gift you a photo shoot.
well,
Let me
okay, but
gift you
there's
one.
also I've seen some pretty photo shoots that are like applications for selling sunset. You know what I mean? Like we
That
live in
too.
rural North Carolina. Like well,
Yes,
let's put
yes.
some
The
clothes on.
well, and but here's the thing: you also market to who you're marketing to.
Hmm.
If we're talking about the same agent that I think we're talking about, I know who she's marketing to,
Well, and in that case, my marketing photos should be in sneakers, leggings, and like a hoodie for the
right?
moms at school.
Girl,
You
I was
know
supposed
what
to
I
have
mean?
photos taken today, and I almost like this sweatshirt was going to be part of it, and then I
Hmm.
was like, because I didn't have time to pull together things, I was like, we're postponing. Um, but
I
yeah.
like your homegirl sweatshirt.
Oh,
Anyways,
I
but
love
no.
it, but it's too big. I've got it. Like I was like, it's just gonna. Anyway, yes, but this is the as a new agent, this is the first thing I would pay for.
Hmm.
Absolute, and then keep them updated. I was scrolling through some stuff the other day, and the agent's headshot was still a glamour shot from like the early 2000s, and I was like, sweetheart, I know that's not what you look like these days.
Yeah. Well, and
That's the other
the
thing. Like,
point is you're trying to make connections so people like recognize you, right? If
right?
you're
And
using a
that's what I was
photo
gonna
from
say.
20 years ago,
Is like if I ran into this person in real life and she's probably got blue hair, not like bluish gray hair, like an old
hmm
lady, I would be like,
well, that's like I had my
huh?
license renewed last year and they made me take a new photo. And I was like, well, last time they just let me roll over the last photo. And she was like, yeah, but it's been over 10 years since the photo's been updated. She's like, an officer needs to be able to recognize who.
Ooh,
And I
that
was like,
hurts.
what are
That
you saying?
hurts.
20-year-old me and 30-year-old me don't look the same? Is that what you're saying? Golly. All
That
right.
stings.
That
Yeah.
stinks. Okay, moving on. We're going to coaching and continuing education.
Yes.
I want to say something about continuing education. There's so many free continuing educations that are
Yes.
great. But
Yes.
if
If
you're
you need
trying
like
to
your gen up, go get a free gen up. Don't pay
yeah,
for one.
yeah, I like one of the like new construction, they do them all the time.
There's one today somewhere. I got invited today or tomorrow. Like I get emails once a week, especially as we get closer to that deadline.
Mhm.
You'll be swamped every day. They'll get an email for an invite.
Well, I'm done for this year. I'm just waiting for July to roll around so I can do it again. But anyways,
I'm
you can do them for free. If you have like something specialty that you're wanting to like do though, and it'll double as a CE credit, pay the $45.
yes. Yes. And
That's
for coaching, careful who you pay. There's a lot of coaches out there who aren't great at coaching.
well, and
Some
that's the
people can
thing.
do, some people can teach. And so just I would always say like ask other people who have gone through their coaching. Was this helpful? Did this help you build your business? Or was it just rah rah keep gut like
Well,
what are you getting?
and that's the thing too. And this is just like with a CRM or with anything else like that. Um, it'll work for you'll find people that went through a coaching program that, oh my god, they have nothing but nice things to say. It changed their business, it changed their life.
Right.
And then if depending on who you are as a person, maybe that structure, maybe that setup, maybe it wasn't for you. And that's okay.
Well,
But
and I
there
think
are a
that's the
lot of
other thing. Like,
scammy coaching
yes,
things out there for
there's a
sure.
lot of scammy coaching out there. I feel like every agent who sold more than 50 houses in a year is suddenly becoming a coach recently. And I'm like,
Mhm.
bro, sit down. But, and you make a good point because I know two people who have gone through the same exact coaching program at the same time.
Mhm.
One of them is a go getter and a doer, and she's succeeding. One of them is it's everyone else's fault. Nothing applies to her, blah, 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 blah. And she's not. So, yes, but make sure it's going to be a fit for you. And if you're not a person that does well with coaching in general, don't waste your
Don't
money on
do
it.
it. Right.
Just know, like, I find my inspiration other places.
And that's okay. That's
It's
totally okay.
absolutely okay. Yeah.
This is something that both of us, I jumped on this bandwagon because of Alyssa, because I had a terrible experience the first time I tried it. So I
Same.
swore to never do it again. But a transaction coordinator is God's gift to real estate agents. Okay.
Yes. Get one.
Get one. You can
Get
use
one at the
ours.
start. I wish I'd hired one first thing. I really do.
Well, and I don't think that I wish I'd hired one first thing, because I feel like there's an understanding of what goes into it, right? Like you have an appreciation for what they do behind the scenes now, and like you learn a lot going through that process. But having a transaction coordinator has opened up so much time. Like you don't realize how much time you spend on the paperwork admin side of a transaction, right?
Right. Well, and I think so. I guess let me step back what I said. I wish not for maybe my first transaction, but for when I got to where I had more than one at a time. Because that year where I got more than one at a time, I was still so worried about the paperwork and not confident enough that I then wasn't prospecting. I wasn't doing the other things because I didn't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wish I had gotten one earlier.
Mm-hmm. No, and that is one thing that I have heard from everybody that has a TC. I wish
Yeah.
I had done this sooner.
Yep.
And I have to say, I mean, I started working with our transaction coordinator in September, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can physically see the difference that it's made because of the time that opened up for me to prospect. Q1 is usually my slowest quarter because Q4 is usually my busiest quarter.
Right. And you're knocking out of the park this quarter.
And I had a closing on Monday. I have a closing on Friday. I think that puts me at 7 closings this quarter, which
That's
is more
amazing.
than I've ever had in
That's
Q1.
what, almost half your business of last year.
Not quite. Not quite. No, I sold 28 last year, I think. So,
Okay.
but still, like Q1 is usually like 2 houses.
Yeah.
And then it starts picking up 2, 3, and 4 because I start prospecting again. So, as I continued to prospect through Q4 last year when I was utilizing a transaction coordinator, I can see that in my business because I have business this
Yep.
quarter and I'm not
Yep.
playing catch up from being so busy in Q4. Get a
Yep.
transaction coordinator. Ours is the Closing Girls. They're not in Vermont anymore, so they're in North Carolina, South Carolina, and
Georgia, right?
Georgia.
I think Georgia's the third
Yeah.
one.
And
Yeah.
listen, there's tons of them out there. If you're not in those states, find one that's reputable. Find one that other people have worked with that can say, "Hey, this is great." Because if you get a bad transaction coordinator, I can speak from experience. It is
Same.
worse than just doing it yourself by
Yep.
a lot.
Same.
So,
Same. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. And it doesn't have to necessarily be an out of pocket expense. Go back to our episode. I'm pretty sure we talk about how we don't really pay for our TC.
we sure did. Yes.
Um, Client appreciation and relationship building. This is one my mom always laughs at
And so does my husband, but that's okay.
because, like, I'm always doing like the little goodie bags, the pop buys, the things. Like, I have teacher appreciation today at 3:30, and I put together the cutest little bag for the teacher of the month. At least I think it's cute, but I think it's worth it. It's how I build relationships. Even if it's just like a handwritten note, those things are all touches. They all add up. They make people think of you. There are reasons to start conversations. Like
Mm-hmm.
at Thanksgiving, I did to go containers. It was this cute little bag. It was like a little box on the bottom and then 3 or 4 little boxes for like leftovers inside. And it said something about like when you're scrolling Zillow at 2 a.m., something about a container for your like here's the leftovers, something like it was super
Mm-hmm.
cute. I had more conversations the day I delivered those or the week than I'd had. I was like, this is awesome.
That's
Because we were
great.
like, oh my God, thank you. We haven't seen you in forever. When are we gonna get together? Let's go to
Mm-hmm.
the dog park or something. Like works every time.
Yep.
I
I have
think
to
they're
say,
worth
my
it.
favorite event that I've done so far that I continue to do is my mommy and me photo shoot.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one, and it is the best one because like that is who I market to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I just have so much fun with it. Travis thinks it's ridiculous, but I love it. I'm actually working on nailing down the dates and the sign up for this year because this will be year 3, and I can tell you that I've gotten 2 transactions from people that I met at those mommy and me photo shoots.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
good. The cost to the
5 to 600,
ROI is
yeah, the $500 or $600 it costs me each year to do it,
right.
it's ridiculous. And those people are so in the one, even the ones that I haven't closed properties with, like they're the ones that are tagging me on Facebook in the mommies groups, and those are the
Right.
ones that are speaking up because they're like, hey, this girl's like wicked cool.
Right.
So I love that one. But that is, I think you and I can both strongly say that our business isn't built on leads, it's built on
Mm-mm.
relationships. So that's
Absolutely.
something that
Absolutely.
versus spending thousands of dollars a month on a lead generation system, like paying for cold leads, we spend money on nurturing those people around us. That makes us happy personally, but it
Yeah.
also leads to building business.
Yeah, I was talking to my mentee last night and we were talking. She has a car show coming up and she's a car girl like me. And it's a car show she helps organize.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, I'm going to make sure I have business cards with me. I said, no, you're not. I said, you've got time, figure something. And I showed her this one as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if you went to a car show and someone was going to give you something, what would you want? Like something tangible.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that you can easily, like, if you don't have time to have it customized and branded, that we can throw in a cute little bag with some glitter and whatnot and make it cool. And I was like, what about like microfiber towels? And you can put something in there about like dusting their seats off and, dusting off like figure something out. And she was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, yes. I was like, that will go so much further when you're having those conversations than just, oh, here's my business card. Think of
Mm-hmm.
me.
For
Like,
sure.
it's always those little things or the events.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I think in this market is far more important than I think it was when we both started in real estate.
Agreed.
Staging and home prep services. I
I'll
don't
tell
necessarily.
you that I have only staged one home.
Yeah, I've never professionally I've done like virtual staging for like a
Me too.
vacant house.
Yep. And
I
I
will
like I
do.
like virtual staging. Virtual staging has come a long way.
Yes.
You used to be able to be like it looked like clip art that they just like stuck on top
Right.
of a photo. Now,
Now
like,
sometimes I'm like,
is it real?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't tell.
Yeah. So I think that goes a long way. Actually, my most recent like walkthrough video, she's like, "Hey, do you mind if we like try to this new thing like we virtually stage this because it's vacant?" And I was like, "In the video? Heck
Right?
yeah,
Cool.
try it." And it came out pretty cool. I don't know. There is something. It does look like it was
Right.
virtual. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't look like you're walking through the house, like because it's got kind of like that virtually staged sheen to it. But anyways,
Right.
I think that goes a long way for people who have a hard time visualizing what that space looks like. But for
Yes.
me, home prep services is more clean, and I'm gonna say it: light bulbs. I have to say it. I
I
have to
say
say it.
like clean light bulbs, a fresh coat of paint, maybe.
That makes a big
Like
difference, a
depending.
huge difference.
Yeah, makes a huge difference.
Hmm.
And like I do think it's worth it. Now, do I think that's all money I should be spending? Not necessarily. I think it depends on how you build your listing agreement. Make sure whatever you're agreeing to pay for is in writing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a deep professional cleaning, because let's be honest, everyone has a different definition of a clean house.
Yep, they sure do.
So
And depending on your like service, I have 3 different service levels, tiers, like choose your package kind of thing. I think I've said it before. What you want on your pizza, like that's you get to pick.
right.
And a professional cleaning is in one of those, and that's just another opportunity for you to build a relationship with that vendor too.
Yeah.
So definitely the clean, make it clean.
Definitely. The cleaning is worth it, especially, or like carpet cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Have them done. Just do them. It's like $200, $300 maybe for a whole house.
And
Just
listen, we're
do
talking
it.
about this investment being like this is the difference between you sitting for 30 to 45 days or sitting for 6 to 8 months.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like because right now buyers are picky AF.
Yep.
They are. They are. They're paying the most amount of money with pretty strong interest rates. They want what they're paying for. They're not like, oh, no worries. We've got a 2% interest rate. We'll fix that by ourselves. So, how you present makes a huge difference right now.
Absolutely. It does. And it shows your value. Like if you can present that well and say, "Hey, my people who pick all the toppings on the pizza, have an average days on market that's significantly lower, and here's by how much," then it makes sense. It shows your value that you understand how this works. Okay, so we went over apps and stuff on our last episode,
Mm-hmm.
but some other things we didn't touch there, like digital signature platforms. If your firm doesn't have one, get one. Just
Makes
get
a huge
it.
difference.
And you get a discount usually for being a realtor. It's a write-off.
Yes.
Like, just do it. Mileage trackers. Pay for like the virtual tour or the walkthrough video. An electronic. Now, this one is based on your market.
Mm-hmm.
Where you are, you guys don't use electronic lock boxes.
No, hardly
I
ever.
learned that the hard way when I had a listing up there. Everyone was like, we don't use these. And I was like,
nobody has.
okay.
We have Supra in Charlotte, but I haven't seen a Supra.
Yeah, it blew my mind. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it is. They are the Master Lock combo boxes from good old Home Depot. That's what we use here. Sometimes people get real fancy and get like them, I don't know, powder coated or dipped or something. Like I've seen, there's one guy that uses like only camo boxes, which is like hilarious to me, but that's neither here nor there. But I wish that there was an easier like electronic, because I like the ability to be able to track and see like when the box was opened, who it was, like those kinds of things.
Because I've caught agents going into my houses when they didn't have a showing.
Mm-hmm.
Or it wasn't the agent that had the showing schedule. I'm like, who the hell's in this house right now?
Right. Well, and that's the stupidest part, especially with a Supra, because it sends your contact information. It's Bluetooth activated. Anyways, but yeah, putting money into things that is going to make it easier, faster, more efficient for you, always something that we stand behind. Say we just did, what was it, 2 episodes ago, I think, for that favorite apps. So take a look at that one. That's a good one.
Yep. Yeah, because there's lots of apps out there. Lots of different tools. Mm-hmm. I like the super lock boxes, but in my market, they're common.
Yes. And it's so funny because we talk about like our separate markets. We're like 30 minutes apart
from each other. I was literally in Maiden yesterday, and it's 37 minutes from my house to that listing, which I know is, I'm pretty sure, closer or further out than your house. Yeah. But that's how we go from Charlotte to not Charlotte. There is a line, and it's funny. It's funny how it's so different. The last one, I think if you look at my bookshelf, you'd be like, this girl doesn't have an imagination. She likes serial killers, cookbooks, and self-help books. Or like, I was going to say it's a true story, but all my books are about murderers.
Nice.
That's funny.
Love
Uh,
that for you.
I'm looking at my bookshelf and I'm like, okay, Scrapped, which is about a girl from my hometown who was kidnapped, we're pretty sure murdered. The next one, Killers, the most apathetic something something. You know what the next one is? Female serial killer.
Okay, so we're supposed to be talking about personal development and
Well, but
mindset, and here
here's
we are talking
mixed
about murderers and serial killers.
mixed in with that because I do the I can't remember those two ladies who do all the organization, so they're all done by color. So mixed in is the 12-week year,
Oh God.
conversion code, find your people, atomic habits, how I built this, the 7 levels of communication, Brene Brown's Gifts of Imperfection, Ryan Serhant's Big Money Energy, and then some stuff about cults.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
and my Notary Public manual. So yeah, there's
That's a good-
there's
it's a
literally no
balance.
fiction on
That's
my
a good
bookshelf. I don't
balance.
like it.
Oh goodness.
But stuff like that, and I do like conferences. You and I had this conversation last week. Like, I realized after going to Dallas that I do love the smaller events more
Mhm.
because I got more knowledge out of it and closer networking. But if you can get to an event, I highly recommend it because the networking you get, the knowledge, even just the knowledge swap between attendees
Mhm.
is like one of the guys. We were talking about how I like sending handwritten notes. He's like, "Do you put a wax seal on it?" I was like, "No, I do like a goofy sticker because that's more my personality."
Mhm.
He's like, "Try the wax seal. Bet you get more responses." And I was like, "I'll try it, but I do
Right.
think the goofy sticker is more my personality." But and there were other things like stuff I had never thought of or people I've like admired online. Like I got to have a one-on-one conversation with Sheila and Tim Macy 2 weeks ago. Like never thought I'd be at that point.
Mhm.
So I do think spending money on personal development, whether it's books or events or whatnot, even if it's like a podcast that has a subscription or something, absolutely worth it.
Yep. Because you just got to keep growing out here. It's the people that, have done the same thing for 30 years and are just so stuck in their ways and not changing
Yes.
with the market, changing with the times. Like, that's hard. We're in a very, very fast moving world, but specifically our industry. Like, it's changing on a yearly
Mm-hmm.
basis, monthly basis, sometimes weekly basis. So, staying up with all of that and being ahead of your competition and able to speak to that confidently for your clients is just going to keep your business moving. So
Yes, agreed.
that's what,
And like even if it's like again, even if it's just like a podcast, like there's one I listen to for free every morning. It's like Motivation Mornings or something. Because you never know, there might be that one thing that one person says on that specific day that you were like, that's what I needed today.
Mhm.
That was what I needed. Like sometimes when Brenna randomly sends me a text that says, "Love you, mean it," I'm like, I needed that
That's
today.
what I wanted today. And hopefully you get that from this podcast. So,
Yes, I hope. And we're not charging you. We make
right.
no money. This costs us money.
So gosh, leave us a 5-star review and then
Right?
come
Please.
back next week.
With a friend. Bring a friend.
Bring a friend. All right.
You know
Well,
what? Next week's buy one, get one. You come for free, they come for free. Bring
there
a
you
friend.
go. I love that. All right. Free 99 next week. We'll see you guys next week. We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.